Hello friends, and welcome to Cozy Leaf Club, a cozy corner on the internet for indoor lovers and hopefully outdoor in the future. And today is another video on my plants in my indoor cozy jungle. But this one is about all of the crazy sizing up and growth that has been happening here during the summer. 90% of them have been doing really well in this time. Because I'm in the southern hemisphere, it is currently summer, and so this is truly the first time in my plant journey that I've seen like the wonders that summer does on indoor plants, and it just makes me so excited. But also I'm trying to enjoy this moment before we get into winter. So we're actually just gonna dive right into it. I'm not gonna ask you to like the video now because it hasn't started, but at the end, if you have enjoyed, it would mean a lot if you like and share this with all of your planty friends. We're actually going to get started with the plant that spurred this video idea, and that is my variegated Philodendron burl marx. Please ignore the funny way that she is growing. It's because of how I've put her on that brown bookshelf behind me, so it's been stretching around the wood to see the sun. But this is her. Now, when I first got this burl marx, it was very small. I genuinely thought it would have been really bigger, and so when it came I was like, oh my gosh. I was low-key kind of disappointed just because the picture didn't show the size that well, and so when it came, most of the leaves were this size. So it was still really cute, don't get me wrong, it was still a very cute little plant, but it did catch me by surprise. I thought it would have been a lot more mature. But recently, a couple weeks back, or maybe last week, I had been going through the rounds of my plants, watering them and looking for any pests and stuff. That was the time when I truly noticed how big the leaves are starting to get. Like, look at the comparison between these newer leaves and the original ones. It has been this size for quite a long time, and so it truly shocked me to see the difference. Like, look at that versus... It's making me so excited. The one thing I'm kind of sad about is that most of the ones that are sizing up are plain green, and so I do think that this plant is reverting. Even when it first came, all of the new leaves were just solid green. I do have a bit of hope because one of these leaves over here has a little bit of variegation, and so hopefully from this one there will be more. And there are some newer leaves like this one down here that does have a bit of variegation. Let's see if it's focused. But as for like these big ones, it's just green. If they end up reverting, I'm not too upset. A plant is a plant. I still think it looks really pretty. And now because the leaves are sizing up, I'm starting to see like the shape of the leaves, and it's actually really pretty. They're kind of pillowy and round. I don't know, like curved, if that makes sense. It's not like a flat leaf, and so they look like pillows. But it's really cute. I also really like the pot that I have it in. I got it from a charity store. I think it was a soup pot, but hey, it works really well. Experimenting with plants, when I first got it, I thought that it was a lot of plants in one pot. And so I split it up, but it turns out it was just one very big plant in one pot. Luckily, the one that I split from this one had a bunch of roots still attached to it, so even though I accidentally split the pot in half, it has been growing on its own. Where I had it didn't have as much access to the sun, and so you can see the leaves are still a bit small. You can see the difference, but I mean, it's still growing, so I am not complaining. This side, however, is completely green, and so I don't think I will see any variegation with this baby plant in the future, but I'm still keeping it because I think the leaves are still really cute. And if they can look like this when they start sizing up, I can't wait to see this one as well. But moral of the story, That was when I learned that burl moxes just have a unique way that they grow, which is very bushy and thick and like very complicated stems at the bottom that are all like hopsmoshed together. That's just how it is. It's not necessarily just multiple in one plant. Regardless, it is very, very pretty and I'm so excited. I really hope if I put this by a grow light that some variegation will return in the bigger leaves and it will be interesting. As for now, she's gonna look a little squonk and predominantly green, but we still love her anyway. So the next plant that has been doing really well without me really paying attention to it, and this is a two-parter because it's its mom and its baby. I showed it in a previous video, but it is my Philodendron Prince of Orange. I don't know if I can show all of her in the camera with me as well, but this is the newest leaf. It is also the biggest leaf, these two. When I first got it, all of the leaves were like this, so it's already fairly big, but it just continues to thrive, and I'm very happy, especially because it had a really bad fungal infection. Its sister, I have a Congo Rojo, is still doing pretty meh, but this one has bounced back, and I don't see any spots on this leaf, so knock on wood, it stays like this. Absolutely stunning. Look at this plant. It just keeps growing bigger and bigger with each leaf. There is a new one here from the second growth point that is about to open. But yeah, this is a lovely statement plant, I think, that is pretty easy to care for. And I think would look great in an open living area where it has enough space to spread around and give all the drama in the new leaves without, you know, very intense or specific care instructions. So I am so excited that this one just keeps growing. I don't think it's going to be due for a repot anytime soon, but I do know it like needs a drink every week or so. So I think she's chilling for now, but as of now, the leaves just keep growing bigger and bigger. This is where we started when I got it from the nursery, and this is now. What? It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying with these bigger philodendrons. Like, I like these ones just because I haven't really had much issue with them. But because the leaves grow so big, it's very satisfying, it's very rewarding, especially as a younger plant parent. I haven't had that many headaches, but I still see, like, I don't know, I see the I see the fruits of my labor through bigger philodendrons and plants that don't necessarily need complex care, because these are still among the larger sized plants that I have currently. But like I said, there is a part 2, and that's because I have a baby Prince of Orange. I didn't actually think in the beginning that I was going to keep it when I first bought it, because I was like, I don't know. I bought it, but then shortly after I saw this big one that was on sale, and then I didn't know if I wanted to keep duplicates. But this is its newest leaf, and it is a dramatic size up from the previous ones. You can just see, looking at these two side by side, and it's already turning green, so it's not as like orange, but it's so cute. And I also got a little pot from the charity store for it that I think it looks really cute in. But I am so happy about this one. I don't think this one needs a repot anytime soon as well. That's one thing I also learned this year, is that you repot based on the size of the root ball and not the leaves. So even if it's the biggest thing at the top, if it has like a tiny ball of roots, do not put it into big of a pot, because it will just be on the decline very quickly. But yeah, the other growth point in this pot still has like a fairly smaller leaves, which is okay. We take our time. Even in the bigger pot, the other growing point is still kind of on the small side. But this gives me hope, especially because this one also had some damage from a fungal infection. So Super, super excited. I no longer keep this one in this room. Both of them are out in a different room where the lighting is a bit different. It isn't by a humidifier yet or anything, but they still have been thriving. So I'm just gonna let them do their thing. The next plant is a bit of a funny one because its growth, or its booming growth, is a direct response to me learning from my mistake. And this is my Hoya pubicalyx. I initially learned that Hoyas tolerate low light. I thought that it would still give me significant, or at least some sort of growth in lower light. And so if I ever had to rearrange plants, my Hoyas would always be the first ones to go to the back to accommodate for other plants. Ergo, they were growing slower than I thought they could. Now, I thought it was because Hoyas are slow growers. I was sorely mistaken. As soon as I put my pubicalyx away from where it was, which wasn't like in a dark corner, but it was certainly further away from the window, and when I put it right smack in the windowsill, this whole entire section, I kid you not, sprouted out of nowhere. Everything from, I want to say, this side upwards is new. And when I say new, is like within the past couple months, barely, maybe like a month and a half. All of this is new, I kid you not. I didn't know it could do that, but turns out I'm putting everything under a lot of light, all of my Hoyas, from here on outwards, because this was a surprise. All of this is on the runners that I have wrapped around this trellis, and truly I didn't even think that these growth points would produce leaves ever. If anything, I just wrapped the runner because I didn't have the heart in me to cut it off, but lo and behold, this whole section sprouted out of nowhere because this part faces the sun, this part faces outside. And so if you are new to plants and you get a Hoya and you read a website that says they tolerate low light, don't listen. If you truly want to see like a lot of growth from a Hoya, give it a lot of light, give it a lot of bright indirect light, and you will be surprised. I truly just thought that they were slow growers, and then I thought, you know what, maybe Hoya isn't for me because I'm impatient. But no, it's just because I gave it the wrong conditions. Who would have thunk it? As for sizing up, there are a couple leaves at the bottom that are much longer than the original ones it came in, but right now they're all relatively similar sized, except for these outliers, which grew because this part was kind of more facing the sun at the time when I still kept it a bit away from the sun. And so I think I am super excited to see this one grow moving on this year, given that now I'm actually going to put it in the right conditions it's supposed to be in. Hopefully we'll see a bloom. I don't know if we will, but fingers crossed. I don't know if I'm gonna re-trellis it, like if I'm gonna get another trellis and put it on, but we shall see. I'm just really excited. Also, these are new leaves. Like, just this whole backside is new. And I'm so shocked because there was one day that I saw these small buds and I was like, what? I didn't even know that could happen on the runner. Like, I just thought that part was pretty much just gonna be a stick. And then lo and behold, it burst forth. I actually made a video recently about plants that are just not doing well in my care or who have kicked the bucket, and one of them was my Hoya carnosa. I'm gonna check for flat mites because a lot of people, or a couple of people, said that it might be flat mites in there, but also same case. I just did not put it in light. So hopefully I'll see more, and then finally I can, you know, start oogling over Hoyas and not being like, oh, I'm gonna wait like 5,000 years to see some sort of growth. I know there are still some slow growing Hoyas, but now I have hope that it was not just the Hoya's fault, but it was me and I can change. So the next one is a houseplant staple, especially for beginners, and this is my Philodendron Brasil. This is the smaller one of the two that I have. Now, I wanted to talk about this one because I found a picture from when I first bought it, and I kid you not, the growth from then to now, mind-boggling. I don't know, because you see the plants every single day, or at least I do, sometimes the growth really just runs over my head. But from the point that I got it to now, this thing has increased in foliage so well, and I'm super proud and super happy and so excited to see this continue to grow and trail. There are like three or four, I think there's three or four main vines that go over the basket, and it just keeps going, and I'm so happy. When I first got this plant, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit skeptical. I didn't know if I particularly liked it, but I know that it was a very easy plant for beginners, and I definitely wanted to train on these plants. I also wanted to just get a bunch of trailing plants at the beginning, and so I saw this at the nursery and got it. It is so easy, and just with patience and over time, it's gone so bushy. I don't want to say more about this plant because I want to talk about it in a future video that's coming really soon. But yeah, just the difference between before and now. I can't remember exactly when I got it last year, but between then and now, I'm so happy with this one. And low-key, I think I want to get more. I think I want to get a cream splash rather, though. Heartleaf philodendrons, you have my heart. This is super satisfying. I can do this finally. Not gonna lie, in the beginning when I first got it, because I didn't really know like the rates, I just wanted something immediately droopy, and obviously it was a bit, it had a buzz, but the dreads have come in very quickly, I'd say. I do have it in a window that gets quite a lot of sun, and so it is a very happy plant. I don't overwater it or anything, but yeah, and look at the leaves are also very beautiful. So it's like double the reward. It's fast growing, it's easy maintenance, but also they all have different patterns. Some of them might end up being fully light green like that. Some of them might have just like a middle yellowy part. This is a newer leaf, so it's still a fairly pinkish. There you go. See the pinkishness of like a newer leaf, which looks really pretty in the sun, mind you. But yeah, and then you can get some which just start to go a little funky. Every leaf is different, and I love that with a Brazil, and I'm very happy that some of my first baby plants are still doing great and continue to be great. So definitely everybody was right in the beginning. If you're new to plants and you want something to learn from and to feel some sort of reward from, these, it's a reason why they are so common in nurseries, because they grow like weeds. The next one is going to be a short one because I think I've already talked about this plant twice and it keeps coming up in my video, but I just want to say, look at that new leaf. Look at that new leaf. This is my Alocasia frydek. This is one of my fairly newer plants. Do I need to say more? Before this leaf, I think this one was the biggest. No, I lied. This one was the biggest. And so this has since then popped out. No words. That's it. That's a tweet. It is so pretty. It's also so funny that the whole thing has swayed left to face the sun. But there is also another leaf on the way over here. As for sizing up, that's it. That's a tweet. That's all I have to say about this one. And all I have to say is I need the variegated one now. It's like, compared to my hat. Thank you, Woolworths, South Africa. We're gonna talk about this one again for the 15th bajillionth time. The one that I am still very much in love with, and that is my Syngonium albo. Now, I also have a picture from when I first got this one, and I was so shocked. I don't know why, but I thought it was bigger than what it actually was when I first got it from the Plant Expo. As for now, she is bringing all the drama. These were some of the original leaves have since died off, but I want to find one of the individual. There is one specific one that I know was here since the beginning, unless it died. Oh, these were the original leaves. So this one came like this, and this one as well. There was another that died off, but this is pretty much the size of the leaves when I first got it. This is some of the more newer leaves. I am so obsessed. This is a much more recent leaf, but they have grown so big. And these like sized up leaves are very recent, actually, this length, because a couple months ago they were still fairly the same size. And so the most recent round of new growth instantly jumped like so quickly. Like you can just see between this leaf here and this one how different the sizes are. I hope I'm showing it accurately, but she is doing fantastic. Where I have her by the window, loves it there. I still have the half moon one that has since then, since the last time I showed you, was still a bit yellow, but now is pretty much white and still looks stunning. I am a bit sad because that stem recently pushed out an all green leaf, and so I don't know if that part or that plant is reverting. I might have to cut it back and let it try again. But yeah, the summer has done wonders for this one. The sun has done wonders, and I'm excited to see the leaves split into 3 eventually when they have matured. As for now, doing wonders. It's just so satisfying. I don't know. All of these, and they are still doing great and getting really good variegation. Something tells me that the leaves are going to start splitting soon, especially because this is a newer leaf, and I don't know if you can see, but it is starting to get a bit more pointy and like triangle shaped. Maybe I'm just seeing things, I don't know. I'll let you know. We do have some new ones on the way, so I shall let you know. I think it's only those 2 for now. So the last one that I wanted to talk about in this video is another plant that I have talked about before, but I have a bit of an update to, and that is my Cebu blue Pothos. And yes, I do keep going on and on and on. Look how big this plant has gotten. I got it last year as well, I think May, and it was kind of long. I think it was this long, and it grew so fast, and I talked about in a previous video about why I love it so much, not only because it has such a beautiful color on the leaves, but also just because she keeps going and going, and especially in the summer, the growth just keeps going non-stop. It has also started to grow more fuller on top ever since I have rearranged some of the vines at the top. So this is going to be another vine that's going to eventually drape over, and it's going to drape over fairly quickly, I can tell you that. I did talk about it in another video, but actually this used to be way longer, and when I was trying to turn it around and like prop some or put some into the soil at the top, I accidentally broke the longest vine, and I was really sad because it had some of the leaves that had sized up significantly. So I lost the part with the longest growth, and yet this has still just been going strong. I want to see if I can find where it has been cut. Oh, here you go. I cut it here as you can see, this is where it has been, or this was one of the pots that had been cut. Since I had cut it here, and this is recent, like this is recent, that is all new. Shocking. I don't know what else to say other than shocking. Don't have a good concept of time, but it is very new, let me tell you that. And so this one, fantastic. That's all I can say. I was very sad in the beginning when I broke it, but now I know that I had nothing to complain about because it just keeps going. And you know, the good thing is it is so easy to propagate. And so I have this plant. I accidentally broke that vine, and so what I did with that vine is I cut it into a bunch of nodes and I started propagating them. And from that, currently, as in the ones that have been rooted and are showing growth that I can show you now, I have not one, not two, not three. I don't know if I can hold all of them, but I have 4 new plants. Mind you, each of these have at least 2 cuttings in them. This one has 2, this one has 3, this one has 3, and this one has 2. So each of them have multiple cuttings in them, and I have so far made 4 new Cebu blue pothos, which is starting to have new growth, and this new growth is happening very quickly. I am so shocked, so dumbfounded by how fast this thing grows that I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of this Cebu Pothos. I'm gonna have to give it away to friends or something. It's growing so fast and I've been able to replicate it so many times. The gift just keeps on giving, and I'm so excited that this is a plant that I really liked. At one point was my favorite one. That is the one that's growing like a weed. Mind you, I have showed you 4 rooted plants with multiple cuttings. There are still several Cebu blue pothos cuttings that I have in sphagnum moss that is still developing roots, and I will pot soon. And so there'll be even more plants. And yet still, the mom looks like this. Moral of the story, if you want something that's just gonna keep spitting out stuff, especially in the summer, you won't go wrong with a Cebu pothos. And because the Cebu pothos is growing so well, I actually want to get a variegated one because I think those ones look also very stunning and pretty. But as for now, I think this is a very fitting plant to be the final one in this video because it had such a comeuppance after I accidentally chopped it to bits. I can never recommend this anymore. It's just such a lovely color, and I think you should just definitely go and search on Instagram yourself to see the color truly in pictures and stuff, because I'm not so sure if it's showing well in the camera, but it speaks for itself. The gifts keeps on giving. Now I will say this doesn't grow like bushy as like a Brazil. It obviously depends how many cuttings or whatever are in the pot, but as for length, you do not have to worry about it. So super excited. I will be putting at least one of my newer plants on a moss pole to see if I can size it up and see the fenestrations in bigger mature Cebu blue pothos leaves. But as for now, I'm gonna enjoy in all of the spoils. So yeah, those are most of the plants that are in my current collection that have been doing absolute wonders in summer. If you're watching this and it's winter time for you, if you are in the northern hemisphere, this is your sign that your slow growth is just for the season, and very soon this will be you, if not even more fruitful. And so hang in there. If this is your little inspiration to keep on going, because the summer, the spring is truly where great things happen. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, once again, it would mean a lot if you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with all your planty friends, and I will see you in the next video.